It's the Gamble and Ginter podcast, and we're back.
We are back. Season 3, baby.
Season 3, we are back. Good to see everyone. If it's your first time watching us, we thank you for joining us for the first time. And if you're a viewer who's seen us before, well, welcome back.
Welcome back.
So to give you guys a synopsis of what's going on and what we're going to be talking about. So our main goal of this show is going to be to try and win you lots of money.
Yeah.
That's our main goal for everything that we're set up. Now, we are sports fans turned into gambling lovers through these 3 seasons through here.
It's just basically we love sports so much we're willing to put money on it.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Yeah. We're all very opinionated. We're very opinionated. And if you've watched the show before, you'd already know that. But we're putting those opinions where we're putting our money where our opinions are.
Yeah, no, and we've been running for the last 4 weeks. We've been running in MLB strictly only our own diamond picks that we had going on. Right now, we are 29 and 23 with those, while we are up 2.5 units. So far, it's been a winning August.
It's been a winning August. We started hot. We started off really hot, and then in the middle of August, we started to cool off a little bit, and tough breaks, some really, really tough breaks going our way. A couple late inning bullpen meltdowns. If betting -1.5, winning by 1. It's just tough.
Still, if we're making profits for
Absolutely.
a month, you cannot complain at all. And we're going to get into our best MLB picks for today, but we want to introduce to you guys a very brand new segment that we have going, and it's going to be called Five Guys.
Well, Pete, you came up with this concept, so you're going to have to explain it.
So instead of coming back kind of with the parlay party and the things that we had, we want to try out new segments for the new audience that we have. And for, again, you guys who are just joining us for the first time, thank you for joining us. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. But we're going to start out with a different idea. So we're going to rank 5 different picks that we have based on confidence. So me and Ryan are going to be in a competition. We are going to get points for each confident pick. Now, we're going to give them out to you. Our least confident pick is 1. Our most confident pick is 5.
As far as point total.
Yes, it escalates from there. So you get 5 points for getting your most point total right. But for today's episode, we're going to do NFL over-unders.
For the preseason total for the wins.
Wins for the entire now 17 weeks of games for
Correct.
guys. Now 18 weeks for the season, 17 weeks where teams will play with 1 bye week.
And we've already gone ahead and we kind of have an idea of where all the teams are on the over-under. And we're going to make our 5 most confident picks for this year's over-under win totals of where we see the totals at right now.
And there's plenty of time to get into it, guys. If you haven't had the chance to look up any of these over-unders, we're going to give our 5 most confident. Feel free to check it out. We checked it out on Vegas Insider. Good little website. It's like the second thing you search for there. But for the over-unders, we're going to start out with least confident to most confident. So, Ryan, you want to start us off?
Yeah, do you want to go like back and forth, or do you want to give?
We'll go back and forth. Our least confident picks, and we'll keep going back and forth. And our most confident picks will be you, then me.
Okay, great. So I off the top of my head already, my least, and it's my least confident out of these 5. It's not like it's my absolute least confident in the entire NFL. It's out of these top 5. So if I get this one right, I get 1 point.
Correct.
Okay, so my number 5 pick would be the Indianapolis Colts. They're sitting at 9 wins right now, and I'm seeing Carson Wentz and Quentin Nelson are back for week 1. They are back for week 1. 9 wins is very low. We did this before Carson Wentz even got hurt. I was saying Colts are a 12-win team. Colts are my team too, but I think they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Over 9 wins. But that's my least confident out of the 5.
Now, to kind of give you guys a peek behind the curtain, me and Ryan don't discuss this beforehand. So we wanted to do this organically. My number 5 is Colts over 9 wins. No, not even a joke. So, I mean, they're going to play the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans
twice a year. Correct.
Yeah. I think the Colts have one of the best defenses in the NFL.
Yeah.
And it's going to carry through a lot of these games against weaker quarterbacks, especially in the AFC.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I mean, Do I think they can compete for a Super Bowl? No, but 9 wins in a 17-week season, I think that's a pretty good over, and that's our least confident now. So I guess anticlimactically, will we go 2 for 2 having the same one?
I mean, maybe. You're going to lead us off for this one. Lead us off for your fourth.
So mine is the under on the San Francisco 49ers. So it's at 10.5 right now, and I get that defense is coming back. Nick Bosa is a difference maker. They lost Richard Sherman. So their secondary was not good last year.
Right.
At all. And I think it's going to help having a pass rush. But at the same time, I really think that they don't have the right opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. So I think my next confident pick, I'm seeing that the Green Bay Packers are sitting at 10 wins.
10 wins, and that's updated.
That is updated. That is with Aaron Rodgers being back, being fully back. And I think this team, I mean, what did they win? 12 games last year. Aaron Rodgers won MVP. They're going to win more than 10 games this year. I know it. But that is my fourth most confident pick.
Okay, so the third most confident pick I have, so this one is for 3 points, is the Patriots over 9.5. So the I'm sorry, not over, under.
Oh,
I read that wrong.
Okay.
No, I'm not a Mac Jones fan, although I think he had a fantastic season at Alabama. I think there's going to be a sharp learning curve in the NFL for him. And quite frankly, he's not one of these athletic beasts that we've seen taken. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Fields, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson. I mean, they're all athletically very gifted.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways. Mac Jones is definitely not that guy, and it doesn't mean that you can't succeed at the quarterback position. Look at Ben Roethlisberger,
right,
for example. But, I mean, he looks good in preseason, but these are a lot of small route throws, and he's going to have trouble adjusting. And the Bills are going to be really tough, and the Dolphins' defense is going to be good.
Yes, exactly.
And I think the Jets have improved too.
Yes, but I also still think the Jets are going to be at the bottom of the AFC.
You also got to wait and see how Zach Wilson pans out at the end of the day.
No, and again, I love his arm talent. And I think me and Ryan are in agreement that we thought both Justin Fields was the number 2 quarterback in the draft.
Correct.
But I really like Zach Wilson, where you were not so high on him.
I'm not super, super high on him. Also because of where he's playing. He's playing with the Jets.
I mean, again, he's got a great left tackle. They really improved their receiving core as well. They got a good young running back. And I think Tevin Coleman, when he stays on the field, is pretty decent too. They're improved. Yep. They're improved. Their defense definitely needs work. And you can't have that defense against Josh Allen and the Bills for sure. But
So you've got under 9.5 wins for the Patriots.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a struggle to get some wins. I don't think their weapons are tight ends for the most part. They don't really have weapons on the outside.
And we didn't even see any of them in preseason. I mean, we don't even know how they're going to look with these new whoever their quarterback's going to be. We don't even know.
And you assume that a Bill Belichick defense is going to be very good, and it could be a one-off thing. But at the same time, I don't know if Mac Jones is ready to make that step right away. And has he been announced as the starter?
No one has.
Well, Cam's in the COVID protocol still, correct?
It was like a misunderstanding about the test is 5 days away from the facility.
Is he one of those dudes who's not vaccinated?
Yes.
That's going to be like I know we're going to do the fantasy show, but we have to kind of take that into consideration this season when it comes to fantasy football. That's pretty nuts.
So let me give my pick for my third most confident pick. I saw this line. I can't believe it. The Buffalo Bills are at 11. The Buffalo Bills are going to win 13 games this year.
Wow.
The Buffalo Bills are going to win. They're going to be 13-4. That's 4 losses on the season. That's last year's 12 wins. They're going to be a 13-win team this year. That's. I mean, there's nothing more I need to say. Like that's
the second highest.
Josh Allen's. Hold on, one more thing. I'm sorry. Josh Allen is going to be in the MVP conversation, if not win the MVP.
Nice. The MVP this season, Josh Allen. You're calling it whatever his pluses are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. A lot of people investing into the sports cards because they think he's going to really take off this season.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers are at 8.5, and I just we haven't seen very bad Pittsburgh Steelers teams, and that defense is still very good. 8.5 is really, really low. I'm going to take the over 8.5.
That's a great pick because 8 wins would mean that Mike Tomlin would finish for the first time under 500. That's a great pick.
Which it's too good of a team.
9-8.
Ben's going to have again, the one thing Ben Roethlisberger does is he gets rid of the ball quicker than maybe any quarterback in the NFL. So they run a lot of 5 receiver sets. They're going to be
Patrick Mahomes gets the ball out of his hands really fast.
He does, but he's more of a creator.
I was going to say Aaron Rodgers.
So like
Aaron Rodgers has a quick release. There's some quick releases. Big Ben's over the hill.
But he's up there with them.
What I'm saying, but with Patrick Mahomes, you still let Tyreek Hill go down the field in 3-4 seconds.
Correct.
I mean, for Ben Roethlisberger, it's back there and find one of your 5 receivers.
Oh, well, then Tom Brady's up there with him.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay, so I'm saying an old over the hill Ben Roethlisberger, dude who's a year away from retirement.
I think he's still good.
He's still a 9. He's going to be a 500 quarterback. A 500 quarterback. That's it, and that's all he needs to be. He just can't be under 500. I agree with that. But my next pick is going to be Kansas City over 12.5 wins.
Okay, so Kansas City was 15-1 last year.
15-1, and they didn't play their best football.
We forgot about the Super Bowl loss because, again, they lost their left tackle and right tackle. And I know even with your starting left tackle and right, I don't think they would have beaten the Bucs that day.
It was really bad.
But it's really hard to do with your backups. I know
Patrick
that for
Mahomes
a fact.
ran for his life. But, I mean, a team that was 15-1 a year ago, they didn't get 3 games worse off defensively. They didn't. Their offense is just too good. So over 12.5 for Kansas City. Easy. So that's my second most.
Your second.
Pick.
So that is your 4-point pick.
That's my 4-point pick.
All
that's
right.
correct.
So now time for the final pick. The big pick. 5-pointer. I've got the Titans over 9. I honestly, they're going to win the division.
Wow,
and I know your Colts are
good.
That dude.
No way.
Dude. They did not. They got better.
They
have Julio Jones.
Yeah, they
now.
got Julio Jones.
They
to go
added
next
Julio
to AJ
Jones
Brown.
and replaced him with Corey Davis to AJ Brown and Derrick Henry. They are going to score points. They are going to score a lot of points. And the defense is good.
Tell me how good Julio Jones has been in the red zone over the last 3 years.
He's been triple covered like the last 8 years.
He's been terrible.
You're going to have
a red zone in the last 3 years.
Why do you think Calvin Ridley's been balling? That's why Calvin Ridley gets all the passes and everything.
Well,
he looks like a
Calvin Ridley isn't catching most of his touchdowns in the red zone. He's creating a touchdown after the catch.
And don't let the fantasy stats fool you. Again, you will ask a lot of receivers in the NFL. Julio's
the best receiver.
Julio's a top 5 receiver.
Yeah. And a lot of them aren't saying that he's 4 or 5. A lot of them are saying he's actually top 3.
Like they look, even your favorite receiver looks up to Julio Jones as the GOAT.
Yeah, I was gonna say Julio Jones is like the leader of this new
Right. I get it.
He's in a good regime. Again, that offense was moving fantastically last year. I think
I don't think their defense is that good.
They may not be, but they're good enough to beat the Texans and the
offense.
Jaguars twice a year. So that's 4 wins right there.
Yeah, and then you got to play the Colts twice a year.
Honestly, they're kind of like the Rockets were in basketball when they had Harden and Westbrook, that they were just high scoring but not really defensive.
Yeah, but they'll score enough.
You every time.
The thing is, they'll score enough, and they have good defensive linemen. They got Jeffrey Simmons as well. They got Kevin Byard to take picks. If they're up 14, then you got to start throwing on that team with those safeties. It's different.
Yeah. And for my 5-point most confident pick for this year, I'm going over 11.5 wins for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think that a team that we haven't seen lose since their late season bye week last year, who just steamrolled. And granted, they played Washington in the first round of the playoffs last year, but they absolutely steamrolled. There was no question, even in the Super Bowl game against the Chiefs, that they were the better team on the field at that particular time. And they got better. And they have more time under their belt together with each other.
And now their backup QB's Kyle Trask.
It's Pete. Shout out Pete, Florida. But yeah, they're at least a 12-5 team. At least a 12-5 team. So.
No, I can definitely see that. That's a good number 1. So I'm glad that our 5 was the same. But we had nothing else.
You both have strong number 1 picks because, like, who would say that the Titans are going to be a 9 wins? Like
that's
a
big Titan
thing. I do think they're going to have double-digit wins.
They can't go 8-8.
What does Vegas know? 8-9.
Yeah, 8-9. That's what I'm saying. I don't think they're
going to
go
8-8 anymore.
What does Vegas know? They have them a game over 500.
I just think that's disrespectful.
That is.
Personally, we're finding value in these lines. That's
Absolutely.
disrespectful to the Titans last season. But we're going to move on, and this is more of the fun Amano segment. So he wanted to get in here with his hijinks. He loves his college football. Don't you, Amano?
No, I like hearing you guys talk about college football more.
Well, we always find a team once a year. Last year it was Coastal Carolina we just ride a bandwagon. So 2 years ago it had to have been Navy.
Yes.
2 years ago it was Navy. Last year it was Coastal Carolina, and we just had a blast.
So I think the college football is the most fun thing to bet kind of blindly. Almost.
It's so random. It's like college basketball. Anything could happen.
You get an idea of who the good teams are, and there's about 5 or 6 legitimate, really, really good teams. You'll see them. They're going to be Oklahoma, Clemson, Alabama, LSU, teams like that.
And they're handicapped accordingly. Like there's times where you have to pick, are they going to win by 46 tonight?
Yeah, no. And
Alabama's coming into the game minus 46. Who you got?
It's so much more ridiculous because you see over-under totals of like 71.
Right.
Whereas an NFL game, if you're primarily, it's 40. You're betting pretty much from 40 to 49. Right. If you see a 50, you're like, wow, 50.
What are they expecting here?
No, but I mean, it's gone up as the NFL's gone up. But really, in college football, the amount of teams that play this high-paced style, it's crazy.
They don't care about defense. It's just get the offense back on the field.
So we're going to do kind of a snippet this week for it because, again, the big week is next week for college football.
Yeah,
when
there's
it
only
really
5 games
kicks off,
weekend.
this is known as week 0. So there's 5 games. 2 of them are probably interesting. But that's the thing. We're going to fall in love with the team similar to the way we fell in love with Coastal Carolina last year, where we now know Grayson McCall and root for CJ Marably as he tries to make the Chicago Bears roster.
Well, all right. So I guess basically the best way to say it is I like being a random person. These guys, they always try to come in as prepared as possible and things like that. But you got to kind of throw these people on their toes. Like, let's see how good you guys are in your picks. And especially with college football, there's so many different teams to pick from. And last year's parlay parties would definitely show that.
Oh, yeah.
So this year, we're going to kind of do like a fun way to create a parlay based on their knowledge in college football. So every week I'm going to randomly pick 5 games for each of them. And I'll definitely try to make sure it's, as balanced as possible, the most competitive games possible. I don't want to give them games that are too lopsided or teams that they're too familiar with maybe, but let's just see how good they are on their toes. So we have 5 games that they're going to both pick this week. But as of next week, when college football really begins to kick off and more games start to happen, I'll give each of them 5 games. And then based on however many they get right, we're going to tally that. And then at the end of the college football year, we're going to see who has more tallies. And at some point, they're going to have a bet or something like that. So where we're going to know what they're playing for. But I'll let you guys pick your 5 games now that are happening today. And then we'll announce your 5 games each as the next week happens, because next week the games are on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
They're all weekend next week. Yeah. And there's some big games on Thursday. Ohio State and Utah are playing their first games on Thursday.
What we'll probably do is put the picks out final on like Wednesday and then start discussing them more on Saturday and tally them along the way. Then. Yeah, it's kind of hard to just pick. I guess they spread it out because of the pandemic and to make sure, there's not too much happening at one time in an area.
Or giving themselves some leeway to be able to, like if there is some sort of
delay or something,
exactly,
or postponing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us your best snippet here.
Well, we're gonna go over the 5 games that are happening today first, and then I'm gonna give you guys your games. I want to let the suspense build a little bit, but the first game we actually have for today, it's at 1 p.m. So let's get that pick in ASAP. The first game we have is Nebraska versus Illinois. The spread is currently 7 points, and Nebraska's favored to win minus 250, with the over under being at 52.5.
I feel like, again, how much better is Nebraska from last season? Because, again, we read that since Scott Frost became the coach at Nebraska, they've been 12 and 20.
We just watched that god-awful interview where they were like telling him that.
He's been terrible. And, Pete, you were mentioning that he's like got some
He's got some NCAA. They're all over him for the 13-0 season, I think. But, again, you're seeing the quality, like how hard is it to transition from player to coach of a big program like that, where you're fighting in that Big Ten that's been just dominated.
Didn't they play last year, Illinois and Nebraska?
They did. It was a 41-23 whooping by Illinois at Nebraska. This game is in Illinois. Now, it's not the best.
It's only a touchdown.
It's only a touchdown right now. Again, I don't know how much better Nebraska is from last year. I know they have, I believe, McCaffrey's brother as their quarterback, which,
Great.
again, he's a good athlete, but he's
This
the
is
quarterback
also
at
like
Nebraska.
his second or third college that he's starting.
I mean, I think the 7 points are a little bit. I'm going to take the points. I'm going to
Plus
take the
7.
home team, take a home doggy, and you can sprinkle a little bit on the money line as well.
If you'd like.
Yeah, Illinois is
If
at
you'd like.
plus 210.
Yeah, I would definitely say plus 7 is an easy bet. It seems like
Plus 7, you can get them at minus 105 odds now. A lot of the action is starting to come in on that one. Just to give you an idea, it's been pretty even, but Nebraska has been hit late a lot. But you can get Illinois at minus 105 in some places.
Wow. Oh,
Plus
by
7.
the way, I just wanted to let you know Coastal Carolina is one of the teams that also plays on Thursday.
I'm so excited.
So I'll probably be betting
Neither
them.
you will be picking on Coastal Carolina.
I'm
going
going to pick whatever the points are. I'm going to pick Coastal Carolina and the points against the
They're
Citadel.
playing the Citadel.
I like that.
Okay.
So that's my bet.
What do we got next?
So the next game we have for today at 2 p.m. is Connecticut versus Fresno State. The spread is currently 27.5 points favoring Fresno State at minus 115. And they are favored to win at minus 5,000. And the over-under is 63.
Yeah, I'm going to take the under. I can't imagine these teams are any freaking good. That Fresno State should be a 27-point favorite to
27
anybody.
and a half.
I mean, come on. Connecticut.
So they got to win by, what is that?
4
4
touchdowns.
touchdowns.
Yeah. I know we don't know UConn Husky football like that, but I mean, I think Aaron Hernandez committed there once.
I mean,
think
they're not.
Yeah.
They're not. There's no way.
I think
There's
under
no way.
63 would be my play.
Under 63?
Under
The
63.
favor is over 63 at minus 115.
I like the
these
under. I
teams-
don't think any of these teams are good.
That's what I'm saying. If these teams are no good, they're usually going to put up more points.
Yeah.
I don't see it that way. Honestly, if one of these
Vegas
offenses,
sees it that way.
you're going to need 2 offenses to score a touchdown.
Okay.
If you are a 28-point underdog, do you think anyone's thinking you're going to score? No, not really.
At least not. I mean, depends on how much.
Again, this
Fresno
is
State puts
UConn Fresno State. UConn Fresno State. If
That's what 7 touchdowns total.
yeah, if Fresno State scores 56 points, we'll be in trouble. I don't know if they're putting up 56 because I don't know if UConn could put up 14 against that team.
I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take 27 and a half.
You're going to take the
Fresno
27.
State.
You're going to take 27 and a half for
I'm gonna-
Fresno State.
I'm going to take that they're going to win by 27 and a
Well,
half.
the third game is the one game that we are kind of ahead of the curve on. We were discussing Hawaii versus UCLA in UCLA. UCLA is an 18-point favorite. They are also favored
it.
to win at minus 900 and the over-under 67.
If you can get it at some of the books that I'm seeing where you can get it at 16 and a half, take UCLA. I like them at 18 too.
Yeah.
They're going to compete
very,
for the
very
Pac-10
good.
title this year. And again, Hawaii's a good team, but again, traveling to Los Angeles from Hawaii, I've done it. It's not fun.
Yeah, but I mean, Hawaii's got to travel to anywhere to play anybody.
Pretty much. But at the
Basically.
same time, I mean, they could have already been here working out and doing,
Probably
getting-
what they did, to be
getting-
honest, at least earlier this week.
Still, I like the value for UCLA. They're going to be a good team, and Hawaii's not going to be.
I agree. 18 points isn't enough. I think UCLA blows them out. That's even a 3 touchdown. The 3 touchdowns beats them.
Yep.
All right. So game 4, you have UTEP versus New Mexico State.
Oh,
I mean,
Christ.
Jesus
minus
Christ.
9.5 for UTEP. And they are favored to win at minus 400 on the money line with the
Who's
over
UTEP
under
playing?
New Mexico State.
Give me UTEP minus 7.5. Maybe buy it down.
Over under is at 59. Just to throw that out there. too.
Yeah, I think
Jesus.
I've not done my New Mexico State research, but they're bad from what I remember.
Oh, man. I mean, do you know? Have you brushed up on UTEP recently?
I mean, I know Aaron Jones went to UTEP.
4
Can't help
5
him right
years
now.
ago. Yeah, 5
it
years
doesn't
ago.
help him right now. But I mean, they're an okay team. I believe they are in the Sun Belt or one of those weird conferences. But
I mean, the name of the school itself
Texas
sounds
El
like it would be
Paso.
in the hot
Texas El
area, like
Paso.
the
Texas El Paso.
Sun Belt. All right.
I'll go with Pete. I'll ride with Pete on this one.
I'm gonna take
the
UTEP.
points. Yeah, I'll take the points.
All right. And the final game is Southern Utah versus San Jose State, where San Jose State is favored to win by 25 points. There are no odds on the money line, and then it is over under at 57.
Okay, so San Jose State won the WAC last year, so I know that for a fact. They had a really, really good team last year. With those teams that are like lower level, they either have like a golden age or they lost their seniors and they're kind of done. So Southern Utah, I believe, is just starting their program because I remember them mainly from basketball. I don't know if they have a really good football team, so that's why the spread is so massive. Now, if any, I wouldn't look anywhere close near this game at any point. This is
It's
only
just-
because
this is-
hey, college football's back.
And there's only 5 games
here's
on it.
San
These are the
Jose
games.
State.
Yeah, these are the games that are on. Here's UTEP.
I'm gonna take the under 57 points. I think Southern Utah is bad, but I don't think they're gonna score.
Man, this is tough.
What did you say the over under was at
57.
officially?
It was at 57.
57. I'm gonna take the unders 57.
Damn.
It's challenging. It's a challenge.
The under does seem tempting. What was the spread total again?
It's
25 points.
25 points. That's 4 touchdowns. I think they can do it.
I think
it's just,
so,
I
too.
don't know what their roster looks like compared to last year.
I've been going with all the heavy favorites, so I'm gonna continue to ride with it. I'll say minus 25
for San Jose State.
So you guys ready to hear your picks that you have to prepare for next week?
Yep.
I would love it.
All right. So the first set of games for Pete, I have Boise State versus UCF.
Mm-hmm.
And then for Ryan, I have UNC versus Virginia Tech.
Okay.
All right.
Wow, that's a good game.
These are great.
For Pete, in the second round of games, I have Michigan State versus Northwestern. And then for Ryan, I have Army versus Georgia State.
Oh,
why'd you give him an Army game, damn it?
You'd actually be
God
surprised how much
damn it.
closer the odds show.
Ah.
The odds actually seem competitive. So
There's gonna be
No,
with
he's
that.
gonna
0
bet.
points.
He's gonna bet an under.
There's gonna
it's
be
just gonna
0
be an
points.
automatic under.
Look,
God damn it!
You
What's
might feel
the
that
under?
you
All right.
might feel that way about your next game because your next game is Marshall versus Navy.
Yes. That's gonna be
Okay.
like
12 points.
yes.
Marshall.
Look, I felt that was the way to even it up. He had
It's a
Army,
good-
you had
good
Navy.
point.
Now shut the fuck
split
up.
up the naval academies.
All right. Ryan's third game is Indiana versus Iowa.
Oh,
Battle
that's a
of the
good game.
eyes.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
Hey, a couple of good Big Ten matchups.
In round 4, you have Stanford versus Kansas State for Pete. And then Ryan
I
has
hate
Notre Dame
Kansas
versus
State.
FSU.
Wow.
And then in the final set of games, Pete has Penn State versus Wisconsin. And then you have UL Lafayette versus Texas.
Ooh, dude, this is gonna be fun.
This
I'm gonna
is
like
be
this.
Great. This is going to be great.
So-
Yeah, no, I'm very excited.
So
for
that's
going
going to be for the NCAA games. Again, we're going to give them out a little bit before we release the picks because we have Thursday games.
What we'll do is this. We're going to tweet them out on Wednesday.
Wednesday.
On Wednesday. Or if anything, Thursday morning. How about that?
Yeah.
We're-
the latest Thursday morning.
Or what we could do is the morning of each of the games, we could put out your picks. So this way, if anything were to happen, like a injury or something like that, we could put it out the morning of that specific
Yeah,
game,
we'll
and then
have
we
time.
tally them along. And
Mhm.
we'll also talk about them as we come on the show next Saturday as well for the ones that have gone through.
Perfect.
So a lot on the show. Again, we like to be wacky. We like to have a lot of competitions between me and Ryan. But to understand how the picks are made on the website, it's a different strategy. Okay, it's me and Ryan putting our minds together and making the best pick possible. And that's what we do in the MLB. And I think this is a good time to bring up Diamonds on the Diamond.
Diamonds on the diamond. And so that's an allusion to what we do on Twitter when we make our picks. We make diamond picks.
So our this is going to be kind of like you guys are going to kind of get into what our thought process is when we're making these particular picks. Again, all of our picks are free, and I want to make sure that it stays that way for the rest because we are a show and we want to entertain you guys and also help you guys when it comes to betting on sports.
We're not just going to give you picks. Basically, what Pete's saying is we're going to give you an inside look at what it is that we're looking for, what it is that we see, where we find the value, and how we come to a conclusion together on all of these picks.
Now, Diamonds on a Diamond, these will not be our official picks. Our official picks will be out tonight, but these are games that right now, guys, you may want to get in early on because there's some value in certain areas that we see, and we've picked our games. Now, there's going to be a theme because I'm looking, I can see Ryan's. Ryan knows mine. There's a theme to all of our picks today,
Yeah.
and it's a little scary when it's this way, but we've been having a lot of success with these big favorites.
Yeah, we love the favorites, and it's been that was basically our strategy early on. We've been kind of trying to get away from, is this team gonna the +1.5s? We want to take a great matchup in our favor for the heavy favorite, the team that's clearly the better team at this point in the baseball season.
And that's a great point to allude into, because if you are not familiar with baseball, it's your first time like actually getting into baseball and betting on baseball, I will tell you right now that this time of year you have teams who are really, really good and teams who are really, really bad.
They're just preparing for the offseason. They've already cashed out.
A la the Baltimore Orioles.
Oh, yeah.
Every once in a while,
row they lost.
A team's going to play hard, but again, there's where you're seeing these big streaks. Yankees won 13 straight.
They needed to come back. They needed to revitalize themselves, and they've put themselves in a position. I believe they're the number 1 American League wild card team right now. Mm-hmm. And they're closing in on the Tampa Bay Rays.
So without further ado, we want to give you our best 4 pick or value picks that we see right now for -1.5. Again, take this information. If you want to listen to our information and tell us, feel free. Thank you for watching anyway.
Right.
So we'll start with Ryan. Ryan,
you start?
You want me to start?
I started last time.
Okay. So the first game that I got is I like the Blue Jays -1.5 against my Deer Tigers. Yeah. Now, this I think is the biggest obscure pitching matchup. And I want to give you kind of the scenarios of what we're dealing with. So Alek Manoah right now, since he's been in the big league, he's a rookie out of West Virginia, who in 2019 was the 11th pick in the draft. So he's come up very quickly and put up great numbers in the MLB that is uncommon for rookies. He's 5-2 with a 3.18 ERA. His whip is 110. The one thing he's shown is a promise to not be giving up hits. He gets into most of his trouble if he's walking guys. So he has 50 hits given up in 68 innings and 25 walks in those 68 innings. So that's a lot of walks.
Yeah.
But the hits, he is not throwing it over the middle of the plate, which is a problem with rookies. Now, let me give you an example of Jose Urena, who is a promising young pitcher for the Marlins. Great stuff. But nowadays, a lot of guys have power sinkers.
Right.
So he was one of the guys who got in around 96, 97, power sinker, good slider. But he's very hittable. He misses over the middle of the plate a lot. In 80 innings pitched this season, he's given up 95 hits, also 37 walks, 12 homers. Again,
it's a lot of home runs in 80 innings.
He gives up a lot of contact. And this Toronto team is an amazing offense. Again, Vlad Cabrera is going to be patient. Bo Bichette is going to be patient. Corey Dickerson is going to be patient.
Teoscar Hernandez is a great hitter.
Hernandez. These are teams, they crush right-handed pitchers, especially Vlad Jr.
Yep.
They're going to be patient. They're going to make you work. Marcus Semien as well. Let's not forget about him.
Yeah, absolutely.
This lineup, it's a bad matchup for this particular game. Good bullpen for the Jays that'll keep it going. I like the Tigers. They've shown promise, 34-30 at home this season, but it's not a great matchup against the righty Manoah in their ballpark, which is predominantly a pitcher's park.
Correct.
So that's my first. You, sir.
Me. All right. So my pick, it seems to be a pretty easy pick. I'm going to ride with the heavy favorites, the Phillies. Actually, they're not even heavy favorites anymore for this pick. Phillies -1.5 against the Arizona Diamondbacks is now +105. So you're getting plus money action on this game right now. My thought process behind this game is Phillies are at home, Arizona on the road. Now, Arizona is the second worst team only to their division rival, the Colorado Rockies, for their away record. They're 17-50 on the road. 17-50 on the road. Put that into perspective, where Phillies are 37-28 at home. Pretty good at home. They've got Kyle Gibson throwing, who, if you remember at the trading deadline, they traded the Phillies traded for Kyle Gibson from the Rangers, and he was doing fantastic for the Rangers. The only literal bright spot for the Rangers in the first half of the season.
He's had kind of a career resurgence. He's kind of had almost like a Charlie Morton run.
Now, yes, that's a good comparison. Kyle Gibson, though, has not been as good since coming over to the National League. And in his 31 innings with the Phillies so far, he's given up. I mean, his hits are not that bad, but his Ks are down. He's 19 Ks in 31 innings, and he's given up 12 walks as well. It's a pretty high walk total for the amount of innings that he's thrown. Only given up 2 home runs. And this Arizona team, especially since Eduardo Escobar left, they're not a super power hitting team. So Philadelphia -1.5 is going to be my pick. Hold on, a little caveat. Rhys Hoskins actually is out for the season.
Yeah, best of luck to Rhys, man. He's struggled with some injuries recently.
Yeah.
Now, do they bring back up Baum because of that? I mean,
you have to.
Man.
You have to.
I don't understand what
plays
they're
first
giving.
base.
Like, he's a good hitter. He just isn't hitting for power right now. He's a good hitter. You see it. He's just young. Let the rookie play. Again, the Phillies are competing, but that's a guy you need on the field if you're going to compete. Either that or make a trade.
Right.
That or make a trade.
He's too good to be sitting in AAA.
You can go get Maikel Franco right now if you want.
But
who would you rather play, him or Alec Boehm, or let Alec Boehm learn?
Let him develop as an offensive weapon.
It's a tough team. So those Rockies that you said, right? So you mentioned they are 16-47 this season
on the road. Yeah.
They take on the Los Angeles Dodgers, and the pitching matchup is John Gray versus David Price. Now, again, I think the Rockies can score some runs in this game. I really do. They have great bats against left-handed pitching. CJ Cron absolutely demolishes left-handed pitching this season. I like the matchups that the Dodgers have against John Gray. I'm going to give you a couple. Again, Cody Bellinger is 11 for 22.
Yeah, that's a big sample size.
Justin Turner in 36 at bats is hitting 347. AJ Pollock in about 29 at bats is hitting 379.
Yeah.
Again, they got great numbers, and that's not even mentioning some of their best players on their team. They got Trey Turner.
I mean, the team is just so
that
stacked,
offense they're going to bring out
fair.
every year. Trevor Story is questionable for this game, so it's a good thing to keep an eye on him because he's one of those guys who does crush lefties.
Crushes lefties.
We don't make these aren't our official picks, but there's a lot of good value there at -125 right now. You can go take the Dodgers at -125 because if Story is out of the lineup, that will go to 160.
Yeah,
you're talking about for the spread, right? Because it's now at -120.
No. I'm saying it has the potential to go up once the lineups are released. If Story, So if again, this is a game that you could possibly get in now and get the best possible value.
Mm-hmm. Definitely, absolutely. So with that, my second pick is going to be again sticking with the heavy favorites. Chicago White Sox at home are taking on the Chicago Cubs today. Lance Lynn, AL Cy Young potential. Mm-hmm. Lance Lynn is taking on Alec Mills. And
how old is he now? He's got to be 37, 38.
He's old. Yeah, no, I'm not old, but he's getting up there. And talk about a career resurgence. He's been another person who's had a career resurgence.
The thing is, he always was getting his numbers weren't great ERA wise, WHIP wise, but he was like 18 wins with the Cardinals every season. It was weird.
Because that Cardinals team was fantastic. Yeah. What are you talking about? That Cardinals team
was
incredible.
Because of Lance Lynn, but
he
was serviceable.
Exactly. If he was pitching the way he's pitching now,
he may have been the
Cy
ace.
Young. Yeah.
He may have been the ace.
Let's not get carried away. They had a lot of good pitchers on that team.
It was before Carpenter. It was after Carpenter, but that's during Wainwright's prime.
Correct. Yes. So as Pete alluded to, Lance Lynn's ERA this year is at 2.20, and that was after a bad performance last time out. And that I
believe he leads the AL.
Loss. He does still. WHIP at just over 1 at 1.05. He's facing Alec Mills, who's 5-6 on the year, but he has a 4.76 ERA.
He's a slow throwing righty with a very, very slow curveball.
Let me put it this way. Alec Mills has thrown 50 less innings than Lance Lynn and has given up one more hit.
The odds just changed on this game, too.
They were at -145 for -1.5.
Yeah, it just changed to the White Sox are now at -150 and the Cubs are at +130.
So you're seeing
I'm still
the
taking
line move up.
-150.
Yeah,
I would get in on this early because I'm very, very confident on this pick.
Yeah, it's again the White Sox are a lot better team. Last night they played a football score, 17-13.
Yeah.
So the bullpens aren't going to be that great. There may be some,
but they're not going to need to be.
Time?
It's going to be White Sox -1.5.
But you're going to think that Lance Lynn's going to eat up
Lance
some
Lynn's going to
tonight.
throw 7 to 8 innings, no doubt, especially knowing that his bullpen's not going to be as fresh. I think that you're going to see that as well.
He's one of the few guys in the league who will get up to 120, 130 pitch count. And he's got a very effortless motion. That's why he doesn't get hurt.
I'd assume his strikeout totals are probably somewhere around 6.5, 7. And I'd say go over, because this Cubs team offensively is just not it, especially going up against a Cy Young candidate. This is going to be a great game for the White Sox.
Awesome. So we want to end the show a little differently. So we used to give out our caps locks, but we want to do a little bit different for this show. We have an idea to just, give one last pick that's just kind of fun. Yeah. That we have for the day. So me and Ryan have collabed on this one today, and we want to give it out to you guys. This is something you could put in right now. But we want to end the show on that end. But before we do, we want to take the time to let you know that this episode is sponsored by the Broward Breakers, my boy Amano and myself, as well as how do you phrase it with the Icon Network?
The Icon Network.
Yes, we're a part of the Icon Network. So thank you again, Amano, for the opportunity to do this wonderful for another season.
Yeah,
it's been awesome. And for you guys who are watching at home for the first time, thank you so much.
Yeah,
make sure to hit
a lot of time into
if you're
this,
watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're watching on Twitter, go onto our YouTube and hit that subscribe button for us. It does a lot for us so that we can continue to make content, make the content better. So our prop for today is probably one of our favorite plays. That these actually props have been diamond picks this season.
Yeah, and we've been that was our last 2-0 day.
I already know where this is going.
Our last 2-0 day was actually a back-to-back.
And I would argue this is probably the best bet. This is like the best, most fun bet because it takes 10 minutes if done right. And that is the no-run first inning bet.
No run first inning. So NRFI, as you'll see it when we make a diamond pick on Twitter. It's an NRFI, no runs first inning.
So it's a fun pick that I think has been really popularized this year. Again, we're very new to betting on baseball. Me and Ryan both played in college, so we know baseball, but we're very new to the betting of it, and we're doing pretty well.
Yeah, we've been seeing all the intricacies of sports betting, especially on baseball, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of tinker and find a strategy that really works for us and something that we're able to gain good information on to make educated picks.
So the game we have is the Miami Marlins, against the Cincinnati Reds. We really like the no runs first inning for that game. It's Vladimir Gutierrez versus Sandy Alcantara. So Sandy Alcantara obviously has been the ace. Now, this game was played exactly the same way on Sunday in Great American Ballpark. Tyler Naquin hit a one-handed homer on the first pitch of the game for Sandy Alcantara.
I don't think that's going to happen again.
I wouldn't bet on it either. He's been fantastic this season, was fantastic the rest of the game, and Vladimir Gutierrez is coming off his best start.
And the Marlins don't have a great lineup. And they don't score. They're one of the best teams to bet against or to bet on to not score a run in the first inning in the MLB this year.
And yes, you're worried about Joey Votto. He's been hot, but
cooled off. He has cooled off since July ended. He really has. He hasn't been fantastic. He hasn't been as good as he was in July in August.
So we think this is great value. Now,
it actually does have great value. If you put $5 on the 5 bets between the 4 diamond picks and that final pick, it has plus 1,805 odds
for a little 5-team parlay.
If you put $5, you can win $90.
There you go.
That's not bad. That's not bad if you have $5 if you want to put that there.
And those are some confident picks at that.
Yeah. Again, those are our most confident picks of the day, actually.
To reiterate, our diamond picks will be out later. It may be those same 4. We may take some off depending on the lineups going on. But
correct.
These are the games that we're watching. Feel free to comment on this episode if you're watching on Twitter. Like, what game are you watching? What is your best bet? Make sure you tag us whenever you guys make a bet. Let us know what your best bet is, and we'll make sure you get out to our gambling community. But guys, thank you for joining us for season 3. For Ryan, for Daniel, I'm Peter. Later.
Glad to be back, guys.